All right, we are live.
We are live and well, and how are you?
No complaints. Everything is everything, and I'm just thankful. I'm grateful and thankful. Today has been overwhelming with that. So, what an
Mhm.
opportunity to build something with you today.
Well, you're certainly starting from a great, great place for a human being, which is, grateful and, overcoming and grateful. I think of overcoming, but grateful and thankful and, and looking forward to, life in your day and so on like that. Good for you.
Yeah, what an opportunity we have, right? Tomorrow's not promised, but
Mm.
today I just try to live all in, lean in, fall forward fast, like we talk about. So, what a place to be.
Oh, I just love the way you said that. It's funny. I hadn't thought of that for a minute, but all in, lean in, forward, fall forward fast. Jesus, what a triplicate of ways to attack life.
Yeah, and it's funny, right? So as we're dialing on here, there was the lag, and it's interesting. It You kind of brought something to life because in everything there's this lag, right? And you have to acknowledge it and just appreciate it for what it is and overcome it. So what did
Mm-hmm.
you say was the takeaway?
Well, you're exactly right. Identify the lag and then create a plan, overcome the lag.
Overcome the lag. That's what you said to me. So I'm definitely titling today Overcoming the Lag. So what a place to be.
That's great. That's great.
So
You
yeah,
know,
we had
and it's and really it get and what it ge oops, and what it gets down to is deal, baby.
fun. Deal, baby. I'm using that. I'm stealing that. I'm not telling anybody I got that one from you. Oh, well,
I'd say it's public domain right now.
what an opportunity. I'm excited because we're gonna get right back into it. So it's been a while since we covered topics in particular. Last week was really around catching back up. So excited because you had such an amazing trip. I went to
Mhm,
Auburn and I'm really building out
mhm.
my why, and living in it is like unbelievable. So such great stuff around us, and I'm so looking forward to kind of getting back to, going pro in life, and what are the things that we have to overcome, right? To be able to get to where we want to go. You good with that?
That is so that is so, so brilliant, Sammy, and I love it that you also dropped that little golden pearl of going pro in life.
You know it. It's the only way. We talked about what are essential, the fancy words pillars, but at the end of the day, what lens do I want to live my life through? And you
Mhm,
kind of challenge some of the ways I was thinking about it in such a great way, because it's not just going pro, it's actually going pro in life. It encapsulates every part of your life, which goes into the daily boxes, which goes into a lot of tools that you graciously provided me to implement into my daily life. So for me, it really
that's
resonates.
really awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome. By the way, just as an interjection, what'd you do yesterday on your boxes?
About a 17.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. You're up there in the outstanding, extraordinary range, and you're in the range where it's really starting to happen. Are you stabilized around 17?
I'm stabilized around 16 to 17 right now.
16 to 17. You are on the threshold of something really great.
Yeah. Right now, I'm focusing on the health components, the nutrition components, and I actually have others helping me establish the actual physical eating as well as focusing on those
Mhm.
around me and having very nutritionist kind of conversations that really level me up to meet others where they are at that 17 to 20 level.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I'll tell you, one of these days we'll just share the boxes on our little talk, because this is such a remarkable tool to have people get involved with.
And hold each other accountable.
Anyway, we're back to, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, that's what partnership is about, really. So why don't you just launch into topic of the day, overcoming the lag?
Overcoming the lag. So, John, I wanted to put a scenario at you, and
Mhm.
I'd love to get your coaching, your thoughts, your wisdom, all of those things, because wisdom doesn't come with age. Wisdom actually comes with applied knowledge. And my friend, you have that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that
You know,
Mhm.
just to say, I love it that you distinguished it that way, so people don't have it, that it's a matter of, well, I'm going to age into wisdom. It's available to children.
Mhm.
Children, in fact, say things often that are very wise, and they shock you because they're so beyond their years. But as you said, just distinguishing as wisdom doesn't come with age, it is actually comes with its applied knowledge. And that, and I would go one step further and say it's applied knowledge that generates or creates freedom.
You just value ping ponged me.
Not bingo.
Aha! Oh man. Well, so yeah, let's go right into it. So as I've grown into, really being an entrepreneur, a business owner, and creating the business and as an extension of myself and the overall community, because it's really not about me, it's about, the contribution to our athletic community and where we're going, right? So I'm very passionate about that. And I've had a couple of interesting overcoming the lag experiences, as you would say, versus how I would handle certain business transactions or business negotiations on a corporate level. And it's fascinating to me because at a corporate level, it's not that I was like playing with someone else's money. Yes, theoretically I kind of was, right? You have shareholders that it's really not your money, but you're invested in that company per se. But when you're a business owner, it's you and your team. And that team's
Yes,
probably small until you
yes.
build that tribe out. So I wanted to level set that because I am really working hard to create a brand identity, a brand ecosystem that translates to every athlete to empower those 1 billion athletes that is ever more in the forefront of my vision and mind every day. So I'm very tied emotionally
Yes.
to making sure everything is, I don't want to say perfect, but exactly where it needs to be aligned to the vision. And at a corporate level,
Yeah.
I was got into,
Yeah. The term, yeah, the term that you hear used on the street is it represents.
yeah, yeah, you're right.
You want to make sure that everything, your presentation, your logo, your any text that goes out that is has it's over your name, anything that whatever that it represents.
Yeah, and it's fascinating though, right? So as you and I have had conversations one on one about the external world and building that relationship, that reputation, overcoming stereotypes. But at the end of the day, right, you have to build that to the external world so others can get bought in, which puts a pressure on myself, to be honest, as a business owner with such a responsibility given my gift on this world is to live in this purpose to contribute to this community as the athletic community, right? So I feel very tied to it, and I've been wanting things to work. So I've brought in experts in different capacities. Look, I have skill sets, John, to be able to do this, but just because I can doesn't mean I should. So sometimes you have to bring others in and expand to include, like you've taught me. So I have done that.
Expand to include.
I have done that, but I also feel like I have tolerated problems that I otherwise in corporate America would have never. So I want to kind of dig into that and why I would do that, especially since on the business ownership side, it's very personal. So you would think I would not want to tolerate a problem versus in corporate, maybe tolerate a problem. So help me understand your view of this.
Well, thank you. I think there's two things, and I want to kind of bring it back to the theme of the day, overcoming the lag. So there is, in everything that we attack, every project that we take on, there's always there's a standard, and then there's the ideal. And what we want to do is we want to meet the standard and go above the standard and get as close as we can to the ideal. So I would say that that difference between that delta between the standard and the ideal is the lag that we're trying to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes, and I think in this case, I think what you're going to speak to is it doesn't even meet the standard, much less get to the ideal. So there's three things. There's the intention, and the intention on both sides. You're working with an outside party. Let's say they're a professional purveyor of services or product. So they have, we would say they're in business, and so they have an intention of serving the customer. They have an intention of pleasing you. They want to have you go away happy and talk about them, so that your word of mouth will, because which is the most powerful way of advertising, will bring other people to you. So there's that one. And on your side, there's your intention, and what you have is a vision, and the vision is you want to hit the standard and surpass the standard and get to the ideal. So that's the lag you're interested in. They're interested in at least hitting the standard, and they would like to be there with you. So there's intention. Then there is outside of that, there's the kind of the intention, and then there's the communication that occurs. Their communication starts out with, we are offering a product and it's going to meet a standard and take you to your ideal. In fact, we're promising your ideal. That's the way they advertise. The second thing is on your side is your communication is, I got it. I got that you've communicated that you're going to help me hit my ideal. I have a standard and a delta to that, an ideal in mind. I am hopeful that you'll do that, and I will pay you money to do that. But you need to understand what I want in order for you to fulfill on my approaching towards the ideal, getting above the standard and getting to the ideal. And then there's the behaviors. And then there is, they go back to their little elves work on it and everything, and then they come back and they do a presentation. They say, here's the product, and you look at it. And so that's the behaviors part. Then they have produced something, and you go, whatever you say about that. And now what's critical is now what happens after that. Did they hit the standard? Did they get towards your ideal? Are you a happy customer? If they did not, what are they listening to what you have to say so that they can actually raise the level, or are they not listening at all? And this is where the critical is. So there's intention, there's communication, there's the first layer of behaviors, which is the product services. And then there's the second layer, which is, again, communication and how they react and respond.
Yeah. Wow. So it's interesting you talk about the standard and ideal. As
Yeah.
former athlete that it was extremely competitive, and even to this day extremely competitive, I don't I don't like being at the bottom of the top. I want to be at the ideal because that's
Yeah.
standard. That's my gold standard. And what's interesting about it is when you're building,
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me just ask you something, because I think you just something really golden. You said the top is my standard.
that is true.
Well, there are people who settle for middle. Settle for,
There is
look, I just
here.
want to get into the NFL, and I'll play, and that's my top. No, you want to be an MVP, you want to be you want to have the stats, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, so the top is my standard. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and it's the gold standard, right? It's
Yeah.
everything that's required to not just say it but walk it. And I live my life through that lens. And my expectation is when I have a conversation, right? Especially when everything's new and when you build something brick by brick, you should never really strive for perfection because that's not where the gold comes. The gold comes on the journey, and to your point, how you deal with the lag and how do you overcome adversity?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you build from there? So I think the interesting thing that I have found as a business owner versus kind of corporate America, I lived in a gold standard in corporate America, and I was able to act as the ultimate teammate to get people excited to want to be in that standard with me as a tribe. And we continued to raise the bar, and people were coming up. And when we were fighting against opposition, all we did was we focused on the value add. We never really focused on who's right, who's wrong. What we did was we stuck to the data, we stuck to the facts, we let the conversation be fluid and flow, right? So we expanded to include, and we kept our flow state, and we were able to mitigate adversity because the power of our tribe and numbers. Okay. Now, as a business owner, I don't fully have the full tribe yet. Now I've got a bunch of champions on my behalf, right? I'm going to build the team. So I am like a tribal leader that is looking around waiting for my tribe to be built, trying to articulate the 10-year, 20-year horizon out because I see it so clear because I'm not making this up. It's who I am, what I will live through. I have a gold standard that others don't get.
Well, they may or may not have the capacity, Sam. So in the hierarchy of shall we say, accomplishment or achievement or kind of participation in life, there's a hierarchy. There's at the very, very top, there's world champion. Underneath that, there's world class. Underneath that, there's champion, like the regional champion. Okay. Underneath that is elite. Underneath that is extraordinary. Underneath that is special. And underneath that is ordinary. Now, obviously, you're not going to select somebody who's ordinary to operate with you because you have an extraordinary kind of vision, maybe even an elite vision. Like you said, extraordinary is one place, but that's the bottom of the top.
That's the bottom.
And what we're looking for is we're getting to elite, champion, world class, and eventually world champion, like that. So that means that you don't, if you're operating with people who are special, they're not going to get there. You actually have to look at the data, as you said, use the kind of references that you have and the filters that you're looking through and the way that you listen to the thing, because I will tell you that special has a different kind of language than extraordinary does. And extraordinary has actually a different language than elite. It's actually the real deal, and the productivity makes it true.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, there's a difference between elite and world class. you know, there's just a way of looking at life. And when you look at life from world class, you talk a certain way, you act a certain way, you are a certain way. Now, if you analyze where you are, if you analyze where you're coming from as you're starting your company at least at the level of elite. At least at the level of elite. So you want those who you are bringing in to be at least at the level of elite, and hopefully at the level of champion and world class. So they will help elevate you. That's how you elevate yourself, is that your partners are at your peer level or higher. If you have partners at your peer level or lower, then it's going to, now you've actually literally created a lag. In fact, you've created a drag.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, and I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And until I build the team, right? So now I have a partner who is definitely above elite, 30-year financial, unbelievable financial career, and wants to contribute to society, impact, forward, knows how to speak to others where they're at, with, not down, right? Knows how to go into rooms that have the boardroom kind of mentality and can speak up if needed and warranted. Definitely, with him, we are headed towards world class. There is no doubt in my mind, right? And what we plan to do is bring others along that will keep that going. So until, the other, let me back up. The other thing about that is his skill sets, his competencies, his value makeup is a wonderful complement to mine, because his skills in his areas are superior to mine in those particular areas. So it makes such a great synergy. Where I have strong skills and strength is, on the strategy side of the house, on the creativity. It's like the entrepreneurial mind, the athlete body, the artist soul.
Right.
That's what I have. I have that. And what's interesting about that, John?
The entrepreneurial 9. What did you say? How did you say that? Say that triplicate again. The
entrepreneurial mind, athlete body, artist soul.
Athlete's body, artist soul. Wow. Wow. That's a wow. So that's really that's the whole package.
That's my makeup.
And then the way that it communicates and the way that it actually attracts, like, for example, your financial partner who is world class. And frankly, me.
No doubt. That goes without saying. You were going to be the next person I talked about.
But I mean, it's just, look at who you're surrounding yourself with. You're the inevitability, if we continue to do that not only in that, but in the area of people who are, that you're buying products and services from and using products and services with, that they're in that category as well.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that is, from an actual skill set perspective, on the creativity part of my brain, the ability to have that artist soul, I have that, John. I have that. It's natural for me, and in the mornings is when it really comes at its highest and best, and I know that. Okay, so handing something off that I am really proficient at, I have a high level of authority as well as capability set in, that I feel I have. I gave that to someone else to help me, so I can also keep the creativity on a wide array of things, that I'm doing, right? To keep that vision going, right? Just because I can do something doesn't mean I should. So I challenged myself that although that's one part I love to do, it takes some time to go through the creative process, right? I move pretty quick, but at the same time, it's new. So when it's new, it's also good to get others and include others to get perspective and different vantage
You
points.
betcha. You betcha.
So that's why I did it.
Yeah, I call it my board of advisors. You're
Yeah,
putting together your board of advisors.
right. And so it was like kind of cutting the umbilical cord for me a little bit to be like, let it go a little bit.
Mm.
And I did, and it bit me a little bit. It bit me. And I don't like to get bit because it's something I know I have a strong capability set in. So for me, what bothered me about all of this was that I tolerated the problem when it didn't feel right at the beginning.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Those are what are called early flags. Stepping over the early flags, the early signals. I had a 13-year relationship, Sam, with a guy who's really bright.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, all the flags came out in the first 6 weeks of our relationship, and I stepped right over him because he was really bright, and attractive as a partner and so on like that. And we were having fun,
Mhm.
and I stepped over it. Yeah. And paid the price. It cost me 4 years of productivity.
Yeah, and
So yeah.
yeah, so for me, it's as I dig in on the learning for me, what's so important, John, is like I'm okay with something not going right. I'm okay from taking the learnings on the values and
Oh
challenge
yeah.
myself. And listen, I'm all for that. But the other aspect to it is being able to discuss the takeaways with someone at your level to be able to poke it a bit, to challenge it, to help me crystallize, well, wait, do I think I have the takeaways or is it something a little bit bigger than maybe I'm giving credit to?
Right. So what I hear is that number one, be sure that you surround yourself with people at elite level or higher capabilities. One. Two, communicate your vision and get their vision and find out that what you're doing is you're actually on the same court playing the same game. You could take a football field, but you can be playing soccer on it and they're playing football or vice versa. Yeah, you can have a checkerboard and you can play checkers or chess. Which game are we playing? So you've got elite to elite or better,
Mhm.
and you've got same board, same game. Okay, that's important. And then now communicating the vision, getting the vision, communicating back the capability, getting the capability, marrying the capability and the vision with, okay, it could happen. We could overcome the lag together
Mhm.
because it's always about partnership.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that contradicts all of that for me is
Mm-hmm.
fail often, fail fast. So I want to start the process. Let's go. Because I want to fail fast. Like I'm okay if something doesn't work out. I will take the first step. I'm not afraid of taking that first step of uncomfortable, unknown, ambiguity. I live in it. I love it, right? But my desire with everything going on to fall forward, fail fast, I think drove my boat a little bit too much in this case, that I overlooked setting the intentionality on what's their vision, what's mine, and where are we
Yeah.
on the same board type of conversation.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things about that because what you said, I think, is really brilliant. The little throwaway line you said is, I want to fail fast. And I want them to, so that's a brilliant place to be, because when you're in a creative and inventive kind of, shall we say, ecology that you're setting between you and whoever you're setting it with, you do want to fail fast, because in the failure is where you find the limitation.
Mhm.
Now we found, okay, well, now we found the floor. How
Yeah.
do we build from there? So, and it could be on your side, it could be on your side, it probably it's on the level of something about failure in communication. On their side, it's probably a failure in execution. But together, between the communication and the execution, let's fall forward, let's lean in, all in, fall forward, fail fast, correct. Because that's where that's what gives us the feedback to correct, so that we could actually start building to the ideal.
Exactly.
Meet the standard, build to the ideal.
Yeah, meet the gold standard. Meet the gold standard. And
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want anyone to be comfortable when we start a project. I actually want everyone very uncomfortable, because I want the environment.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, when we start, I want people to feel, whoa. And then we come to the table and discuss how to make it, I see it. I see it. Now we have to figure out how can we do it. I'm okay with that process, but I want
I love that. I love that.
I want you to feel what I walk in every day, because then I am now building with you, because now we're on the same playing field of how I operate in my everyday life. And it's bigger than just a transactional service, because when I give my word to someone to use someone's service, or when I connect someone, that's an extension of me. I treat it as such.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in order to do that,
Yes.
there needs to be an exchange of value. Now, it's a very direct one from their side, because I am paying for a service and expecting output, right? But it's bigger than
Right.
that. I want to understand their process. I want to understand how they respond when I say, I felt handled like a transaction. I didn't feel collaborated with. I'm a collaborator. I'm a teammate. If you handle me, you
Yes.
lose 10 out of 10 times, because you won't really hear me to listen. You don't listen to hear. You're actually listening to speak with me when you handle me versus collaborate with me.
Yeah, they're running a script, no matter how you cut it, and no matter what the product is. This is we're running, and then they're handling you as, well, you're just another one of the customers. You're feeding our machine so that we can do our process, and here's the script, and put it out. As you say, you're looking for, I heard in what you said, is you're looking for three things. You're looking for the aha between you, particularly their aha. You're looking for the duh, okay, duh, we can do this. And then the wow in the end delivery. You're looking for, another way of saying it is, you're looking for the what, the how, and the why of something. As in another analogy, the what is be world champion, the how is win the Super Bowl, and the why is wear the ring.
And the other aspect of that, right? So gold standard is where I'm at. My expectation is at. That is where my bottom of the top is. Well, if they
it's your birthright. It's your birthright, that it's your birthright, but beyond your birthright, it's something you've earned, because you've had the taste of it.
Yeah.
And once you've had the taste of it, you're never fulfilled or satisfied with anything less than the gold standard.
Yeah. So, but let me finish this thought on it, because I think this really goes into what you were talking about in the aha, the wow, and the duh, right? Because in the what, the how, the why, all of those, as it all comes together internally, deep down, I want the Shazam. I am going for a Shazam.
You want the Shazam.
And I am okay, right, with the wow, right? I'm okay with with that as my kind of gold standard, right? Like there's going to be in the process where I'm like, aha, I'll be like, wow, I'll be like,
Well,
oh, I should know.
well, let's say, I see something you're saying in that which I didn't see before this moment, which is that wow is the standard and Shazam is the ideal.
Yes. For me, yes. That's why I wanted to
Yes,
break that through, right? When we think master distinctions, when we think about stepping and earning our greatness and stepping into our capacity of greatness, that is how I operate my life. Like there is no on and off switch to that. That is it. Like
right,
that's the game for me.
right.
That's my life game.
Yep,
So
yep.
it's
Yeah, and not only that, and not only is it your life game, you don't want to play with anybody that's not their life game.
you're right.
I
You're right.
want to play with, I want to play with the people that's the gold standard is their life game, and that what they're going for is minimum wow and the delta or overcoming the lag between wow and Shazam.
Yeah. Which, as you so wonderfully taught me, is where true transformation occurs. Transformation doesn't occur with just change.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
not just change. It's not just
so
change.
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And it's not about someone who's already at gold standard. We all are on a journey. Okay.
Uh,
I'm okay with someone who
yeah,
has the aperture and appetite, willingness, and foresight to get to a gold standard. I'm okay working with that because that tells me you are going to do what is required to step into your capacity. You just need the tools,
yeah,
you need the resources, you need the tribe around you, and you need to lean up and cut
yeah,
the tail of those who just aren't on that are holding, your lag. They're dragging you. And
yeah, yeah,
cool with that.
yeah. Even people you become emotionally involved. Oh, I really like this person, and gee, if they really, I had a conversation 2 days ago
Okay.
with this really brilliant woman I've known for 35 years. She's extraordinary. She's a gold standard, going to world class kind of person, belongs at world class. And she had given up on herself. And I discovered that she has a partner that she really likes a lot, who she thinks really could be something, but the partner's life is a mess. The partner has marital problems, has huge debt problems, has, this issue and that issue, and she can't handle her life in order for her to zero in and focus and put all of her energy on getting to elite, moving towards world class. And so it was a difficult conversation because they've had a 3-year relationship as business partners, for me to actually say, well, what do you see? And her coming to the point of view that, wow, I actually need to, in a graceful and gracious way, tell her that she needs to go either clean up her act completely and then come back and we can talk, or she's going to have to go away and I'm going to have to actually go on without her and find somebody who can fulfill on that standard of being in there as a clean, focused elite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't say it better than that.
So that's your due diligence.
Yeah.
That's your interview, and your interview is your due diligence, is figuring out, is there clutter that's going to keep them from being able to participate and play the game at the level you do.
Yeah.
If I'm an athlete and I'm putting together my 4x100 relay.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a person on the team that has an issue, and some days they're just absolutely brilliant, and some days they're not. Turns out that they've got some sort of problem with it, and I can't count on. No, I have to have somebody I've got every leg has to be handled, and I have to be able to count on that every person is, going to be able to run it in 9.6.
Yeah, well said. And what a topic, right? Overcoming the lag. And we really
Wow.
built that out
Wow.
today.
It's so rich. It's so rich.
It is. And you said this extremely well. When you build something with someone that is someone like you, John, like from my view, I'm giving you my vantage point, that is world
Yeah,
class.
well, I have the same feeling about you. So back at you, just so you know.
I I can't help but cherish the build and progression of our conversations, and it shares with
Uh-huh.
others, John, that when you feel that you are in a mentor, with a mentor, when you're with a sponsor, when you're with someone that you aspire to be like, to be in the room with, like, this is the type of conversation and growth. It's not one conversation in itself in silo. It is the culmination of them all and how you build upon. So I referenced a lot of some of the teachings that you have poured into me from day one and when I went to Mexico, and I'm incorporating it into my everyday life. This is
Yes.
not a let me sit here, just be a student.
Yes.
This
Yes.
lifelong
Yes.
learner in partnership with you to get to world class every single day.
Listen, virtuous practice forms character, character unfolds destiny. And what we're doing is we're doing something that is nurturing and building our character by practicing every day. That's why I asked you, what was your daily boxes yesterday? What was your score? And you said 17. Wow. Okay, let's get it stabilized because 17 is elite.
Yeah.
We can really go somewhere from there.
Yeah, and what an opportunity, because you said something to me when you shared in the document the notes, and you said my expectation, well, expectation is maybe not the right word, but I like to say it in this way, and I'll build on it. But you made a comment saying, I
Okay.
see you at like a 19.
Yes. See, that's listening you into existence
It
as
is.
something.
That is right. So that's why I say expectation, because what you have now done for me is
Uh-huh.
raised my bar. You have forced
Yes.
me to see a short, medium, long term horizon of I can do this. I can
You
really,
can do this.
and
Yeah.
it's not going to be easy, but I can do it because I'm going to do it in a sustainable way where I am not faking it. I am actually integrating it into my everyday life. So I'm making intentional choices to do that.
Yes. And another thing that you're doing, Sammy, is you are coaching yourself all day long. All day long. You confront something and you go, and you're really going, you're actually looking against your model of 19. You're looking against it, and that's a yes or a no. It's a toggle, and you're doing it all day long,
Yeah.
practicing.
And so you know what I call that, and I built it in some of my curriculum. I call it microdosing.
You call it?
Microdosing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's good.
microdose all the time. So don't tell me you can't go work out. Go microdose a couple of squats. Go body
There
weight.
you go.
Go
That's good.
instead of having a 45-minute call, get it into 15 minutes. Microdose your values embedded story, right? Boom,
That's right.
boom, boom. So I microdose a lot.
Yeah, that's really great. I get that. That's really, really good. Yeah. Yeah. Microdosing. Okay. That's a new one for me.
Well, it's just that athlete talk, but I
Oh, no. I like it. Well, you could come at it from, taking LSD. Well, I'm microdosing.
oh, I will say thank you. Thoughtful Thursdays is something I really look forward to, and we've talked about many times. And today overcoming the lag is something that I really needed to have a conversation about, right? And we didn't really plan it. We don't plan these things. We literally come from
No, we don't.
life.
No, we don't. You
Thank
know what? You don't plan it because you speak from what you're present to in your life as your life. And there's never a lie. If you're down, it's going to be crap. And if you're up, it's going to be gold. And it's kind of like whatever. And I know that whenever I'm in my conversation with us, that we are actually going to be having some form of a golden conversation. So I really appreciate that. And I must say, I look forward weekly for having this conversation.
Yeah, you can't get rid of me now. I'm a lifer, John.
There you are. There you are.
Lifer. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't.
There you go.
Well, I appreciate you, and as ever, you matter. I see you, and I will continue to build with you. So thank you.
Okay. Well, love you. Really mean it.
Means everything. All right. I will talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.